Right, so fasting. I mean, I think fasting is a pretty big buzzword at the moment. Seems that everybody's either doing it or asking about it or thinking about doing it. So I want to talk quickly about, well, what the benefits are really, in particular for weight loss. And is fasting beneficial for weight loss? Yeah, it definitely can be for some people. Some people, it isn't. And boringly enough, you know, it just comes back to calories, really. I mean, I know it's boring, it's not sexy. It's very easy to market things as magic and the next big fix, but it always just comes back to calories. And that is all fasting does. It just comes back to calories. It's calorie control. So, I mean, you think about it, right? The most simple version of fasting, because there are a lot, but the most simple is you skip breakfast, basically. You skip breakfast and maybe you delay your lunch. And essentially, you're just skipping a meal. So what tends to happen is people just never make up for that. I mean, and we see it in a few studies that people will eat more at lunch than they would if they hadn't skipped breakfast. But overall, for the day, they're still eating less. So if you add both together, they're still eating less than the people that had breakfast and lunch, even though they ate more at actual lunch. But again, what tends to happen is people just don't make up for the meal that they skipped. And this is the same in, like, with a 5-2 diet, for example. So say with skipping breakfast, we're looking on a daily basis. With a 5-2 diet, we're looking more on a weekly basis. So a 5-2 diet, it tends to be, it can be 2 complete fasting days where you don't eat at all. But I think most people just do the 2 days as a low calorie day. And I think it's probably the better way to do it, but I mean, it is individual. But essentially, again, it's the same. You just eat so little calories on those 2 days that over the week, you just never make up for all the calories that you didn't eat on those days. So again, it just comes back to a calorie deficit. Over the week, you've ate less than you normally would because those 2 days just put you in such a huge deficit that even if you overeat a little bit than normal on those 5 days, you just never make up for those 2 days. But again, this is individual. So for some people, it helps them. Having that shorter, particularly if we're looking at a daily basis, a popular one is the 16-8. So people fast for 16 hours and eat for 8. But basically, by having a shorter eating window, people just don't eat as much. And this can be beneficial for a lot of people. So, you know, if you find that you tend to binge at night, if you put your cutoff as 8 p.m, for example, now you can't have all those snacks that you normally binge on later on at night. So you just cut out X amount of calories, right? If you do it on the flip side and you sort of skip breakfast or move that meal further forwards, maybe you're always in a rush in the morning, you always stop off at McDonald's or something, or you just grab something quick because you think that you need to eat when you maybe, you know, you don't have to. And therefore, by skipping that quick meal, you again just cut out a load of calories there. And that's all it really is. So people just find that for different reasons, having that shorter time frame or having specific cut-offs, either in the morning or at night, just helps them to eat less. But then again, on the flip side, other people don't. And other people find that because they're restricted and that 8 p.m. deadline's coming up, they just eat a crap ton of food because they're like, oh, I'm not about to eat after 8 o'clock, so I'm going to make up for that in the lead up to 8 o'clock. So it's just really calorie restriction in terms of weight loss. For some people, it helps them to eat less. For others, it doesn't. Try it. See if it works for you. Now, side note, obviously the main part and the main focus, of this video is for weight loss. But, you know, you'll also see lots of health benefits touted over the internet. And, you know, it's this magical elixir is fasting that we all need to do. First of all, I want to point out that everybody fasts because everybody goes to bed, right? I mean, when you sleep, you are fasting. So everybody fasts every single day. So is there any real benefit to extending that fast up to lunch? I mean, outside of calorie restriction, maybe not. We see a lot of evidence from, you know, animal models, fruit flies, mice, but I assume no fruit flies or mice are watching this. So, you know, can we translate those to humans? Not really. I mean, the ones that you'll hear, the benefits are, you know, you have to fast because of autophagy. And, you know, again, yeah, if you're a fly, great, knock yourself out. But is there any benefit, any evidence of benefit in humans? Not as far as I'm aware at the moment. And the thing is as well, you'll get the same benefit from exercise and being in the calorie deficit. So again, the benefits that we see mostly come from weight loss. You know, weight loss has huge health benefits, and it's very hard in a lot of studies to piece it out from, is it fasting or is it weight loss? And a lot of the time we see it's just weight loss. Another one is, so people say growth hormone, you know, oh, well, fasting spikes your growth hormone, so then it'll increase your metabolism and you'll burn loads more calories. Again, it's not true. Like, the increase that you see in growth hormone from fasting is literally, it's coming from negative to baseline, not even baseline. It's almost the equivalent of switching on the emergency lights when the main power goes down. Like, this isn't an increase above baseline that is going to significantly impact anything, okay? Massively overhyped benefit. And again, you know, insulin is one, you know, better glucose control. But again, can we piece that out from weight loss? Because again, significant weight loss, no matter how you do it, massively increases your glucose control, your insulin sensitivity. So again, is piecing it out from weight loss. So a lot of the time it tends to be just that benefit of cutting your calories and losing weight. So now, interestingly, there was a new, well, it's not new, but it's being researched more, a type of fasting called time restricted feeding. So basically intermittent fasting, or the fasting that we talk about, what everyone talks about, is you just pick an eating window and throughout the day, whatever suits you. Time restricted feeding is putting that window in relation to your circadian rhythm. So basically you don't eat too early, don't eat too late. And there are some pilot studies that have shown some benefits here, but the issue is that they're pilot studies. So it's a very interesting area of research, and I am looking forward to more coming out from this. But again, it's very new. You can't really translate these early studies to practical applications. But an interesting one to look out for. So maybe we'll see some more cool stuff coming out from that. But at the end of the day, the point of the video, and in summary, intermittent fasting for weight loss, does it matter? No, not really. What matters is calories. How many calories you're eating. If it helps you to eat less, go for it. If it doesn't, don't bother. It's up to you. Try it. It's individual. Like I pretty much get into every single video. It's individual. See if it works for you. If it doesn't matter. Don't do it. If it does, fantastic. Go for it. Couple of side notes I just want to talk about, just to finish off. If you are going to try it and you are going to start skipping breakfast, just be aware of your hunger hormones, because basically our hunger hormones work on a kind of schedule. So our body senses patterns and it will release hunger hormones in response to regular eating patterns. So if you're currently always eating breakfast and then you start skipping it, you may find that you still get that hunger in the mornings when you would normally eat. It will pass with time, but it may take time for you to sort of regulate your hunger hormones to a new eating pattern. And this is actually why it's very beneficial to eat every day at similar times if you can, to sort of regulate these hunger hormones. So that's just one to look out for if you are going to be switching your eating schedule, basically. And the final point I want to make is around binge eating. So if you have any binge eating tendencies, if you have been diagnosed of having any kind of binge eating disorder, then fasting is an absolute no-go. It is not beneficial at all. In fact, it is detrimental basically for people who have these underlying conditions or these underlying tendencies. So if you realise, or if you have been kind of diagnosed of having these tendencies, then I would really highly recommend not doing fasting of any sort. So that's it basically, guys. So I hope you got some value from that. If you did, please feel free to interact on the videos. As always, I do really appreciate it. Make sure you like the video, drop a comment, something that you've learned, something that you've tried that's related to this video, or any insights that you have. Please whack them in the comments. It's always cool to see and always cool to hear that people are going to be trying new things or they found it helpful. So please do that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well, just so you get alerts on new videos, because these are coming out every day now for quite a while. So lots of free tips. So make sure you hit subscribe. You should be able to do so in the top corner of this video. As always, thank you very much for tuning in, and I shall see you next time. Thank you.